Hello, this is the front desk.
Welcome back to episode 63 of the Crackin' Backs podcast with the hosts Dr. Terry Wyman and Dr. Spencer Barron. How you guys doing this morning?
Fantastic.
Man, it's good, man.
Woohoo!
How you doing?
It's great to hear. So today we are joined by Mike Pincus for a second time. I don't know why we're having him on a second time. Mike was on one of our previous podcasts.
Mike.
Talking to us about talking to us about his experience as a personal trainer and working with medical professionals. I'm kidding, we do like Mike. So because today Mike will be talking to us about his second chapter of his career. After 34 years and 50,000 hours of training clients one-on-one, he is retired as now the Chief Health Officer of Opsis Health. We're excited to learn what Opsis Health has created for food for humans. So how are you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on again.
I can't believe bewildering morning.
Yeah, I know why I want to talk to Mike. I want to talk to Mike because I want to talk more about pumping iron.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I can't believe we're having for our first time ever second guest.
Yeah,
we chose Mike. You know,
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I know it doesn't surprise you. Surprise the hell out of me, but you know it's good to have you, Mike. And yes, you and I'll just be quiet while you and Spencer are talking about the best show ever, pumping iron.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because after the last show we did, all I kept thinking is about that arm blaster, the Schwarzenegger arm blaster, and I'm like, I have to find it. Yeah.
Did you find it?
So good. No, I didn't find it. It's got to be somewhere in my gym. I know it's there.
That's funny because it also made an impact on me. The next day I went into the gym or went into where my office is connected to a gym. And I said, I took some of the old guys that are training other guys, and I go, "Hey, do you guys remember the arm blaster?" They go, "Oh yeah, Arnold's arm blaster." I go, "My man," you know.
That's right.
Well, you can see that I use it all the time. You know.
Wait,
is that a string? Do you need? We need to cut that string that came out of your shirt sleeve. Hold on, man, just a thing for you. Hold on.
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah. You know, that is a result of Amazon arm blasting. You know, wait, let me there. Wait, is that better? Do I do it like that?
Amazon arm blasting. You bought one on Amazon?
Mike, he doesn't even know the right term, man. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, the bodybuilder guy.
Wasn't he the governor?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Unfortunately, that's how you know him. Huh?
Well, yes. He was Conan the Barbarian. I know something.
There you go. There you go.
Terminator. You know, I just never. You know, I didn't have the physique to follow him in the gym side. I was the cyclist, the cross country and a marathon runner. I wasn't the arm blaster kind of guy. That's why I have you, Spencer. You're my arm blaster partner.
That's why Mike and I get along. We're good.
You're right.
Exactly. Yep.
The two fire plugs surrounded by the engine.
Right.
I'm not even going to go there.
More like the caboose.
Not even.
He's the caboose.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah. Well, good to have you back.
So, Mike, it's good. Yes, it is good to have you back.
Thanks, guys. I'm really honored. I love it.
So last time you were here, you said before you go into your new endeavor, and I always like organic conversations, as you know. The podcast is all about helping people physically, mentally, and nutritionally. And obviously, your old endeavor is on the physical and nutritional side and mental side, and your new endeavor is more on the nutritional side, but not so much as touting a new company. I'm really interested in hearing how the journey came from a trainer to walking away from a lucrative company that you were making a living, you were doing fine, you're doing that, and to switch into something new. Not only not touting the company, but there are people out there that have great ideas that may not have the courage to take that step. And
Great point. Yeah.
And I think that is huge for there's so many armchair entrepreneurs that have this great idea to sit around at the coffee table or at the bar or talking to their buddies. I got this great idea. I'm going to change the world, and they never do it. They don't have the
Yeah.
guts to do it or the knowledge of what to do. So I'm more interested in the journey than the view of the mountaintop. I'm interested in the journey and how you found the strength, the fortitude, the guts, and the knowledge, and to do that, and to maybe help somebody out there, some budding entrepreneur with a great idea to take that step.
Sure. So keeping it really quick and as quick as I possibly can. So 2019, I'm minding my own business, training my clients, and again, I'm training clients one on one in their homes in the town that we live in. And one of my clients, his name is Jeff. He said, I have a client of mine that has something that I think you should look at." And I said, "Great, what is it?" And he said, "It's the ability to use your phone to take a picture and see everything you're about to consume in food, and down to the portion and all the calories and all of the micro and macronutrients." And I said, "That's fascinating." I said, "But it can't be done." And he says, "No, no, no. He's really, really a smart guy." I'm like, "He's a little bit of bonehead because it's been attempted many, many times and it can't be done." He said, "Just look at it." And I said, "Okay, fine, I'll look at it." And so he set up the call, and his name is Kevin, Kevin Grundy. And Kevin and I, it was supposed to be a 15-minute call and turned into 90 minutes. And his background is an engineer, nothing in health and fitness. And he figured out something in my world without having spent any time in my world, which I found to be fascinating. We then 3 weeks later, for the first 3 weeks, we talked every day and coming up with different ideas and so forth and so on. I still didn't know what exactly he wanted me to do. Maybe write a paper for him. I just had 16 clients that needed this product, and I knew trainers out there that would love this product. And so we met, the typical cliche. We met at a coffee shop in Westlake at Starbucks, and he opened up the computer and showed me 150 pages of intellectual property. And again, from my 3 decades working one-on-one with clients, I knew what the industry wants. I knew what people have been asking for. I knew what apps have been developed. I've been around since before all of the apps ever were created. And I kept asking, "Can it do this? Can you do this? Can you do this?" And he would just scroll, and he's like, "There it is." And it's the diagrams. It's ready for patent. It's ready to go. And I said, "How in the heck did you come up with this without being in my world?" Because people in our world have attempted to do stuff like this, but that's the difference, is it takes that engineering mindset. And he never searched out any of the apps, never searched out what anyone else is doing, never looked into the patent office of what's out there. And he said, what he learned in all of his training is, when you do that, it will literally stop you in your tracks, because you're going to start to look and say, "Oh, that's already been thought of. I'm not going to do it."
Well, that's an interesting
And he
point.
said,
Yeah.
when you are designing and you're an entrepreneur and you are an engineer or you have an idea, don't look at what the rest of the world is doing. Just do it the way you think it should be done. You may waste time. You may waste 3 years of your life doing this. But what if you don't? What if what you produce is actually the thing? And that's really what happened with him. He pieced it all together. It's an end-to-end solution, which no one has ever done before. People have attempted to do things like this and have taken this part of it and perfected it, or this part of it and perfected, but no one's put it together. And he said that's the engineer, and that's how they're trained. So he is a Hall of Fame alumni from Cal Poly School of Engineering, and in coming out of that school, that is how they think and how they're taught to think. Yeah. So if anybody out there does have an idea, don't do what the rest of us thought to do or told to do, as well. Search the internet and who else is doing it. You know what? And the reality is that the typical saying is by the time you think of it, it's been attempted 7 times and it has failed. So then you're going to not do it. You're not going to succeed. Well, imagine if Bezos and Musk and Zuckerberg and Gates and Jobs, the list goes on, of said, well, I'm going to try this, but you know what? Someone else attempted it. So therefore, it's not going to work. I'm not going to do it. And one of the things is that somebody early on has, one of our investors actually said, every time I talk to you, you have this positivity about you. And he says, you have no fear. I don't understand it. And I said, I've never had fear in anything in business that I've ever done. And he said, I just don't understand how that's possible. And I said, fear is going to just stop you. It's going to slow you down. It's going to put you in your place. And there's just really no spot for it. So I was looking for the perfect acronym for fear. And I found one online. I didn't come up with it. Face everything and rise. And that's really what it's at. I mean, that's where we are within our business. We hit, yeah, we come up to, I don't even call it a roadblock. We come up to a hurdle. Well, are we going over it? We knocking it down? Or are we going around it? There's your only three options. Turning around and going back is not an option, but we will get past that hurdle. Um, and fear would have me completely stop dead in my tracks and just say, you know what, I'm not doing this, and I'm going to go back to the easy thing. So answer your question, Terry, how is it that I decided to leave my practice and come aboard, which is complete opposite of what most people do in I'm going to say in the U.S. The dream is you work at a company and then you want to leave and do your own thing, be your own boss, and set your own hours. I never worked for anybody else. I mean, I had, Terry, you and I met at the Westlake Sport House years ago, and that was my last job. Last paycheck was 1992, and uh, I'm an accidental entrepreneur. I accidentally was forced into becoming a personal trainer one-on-one. There were more and more people. The demand was there, and I just couldn't spend enough time in the gym, and so suddenly I found myself out on my own. And then I had to make every decision on my own, marketing, whatever it was, billing, everything. I had to do it all on my own, and I loved it. And I was a lifer. I was never going to leave. And then this came along, and what's very interesting with Kevin and everything we've ever done uh, in almost 3 years that I've been with him is we wait for people to lean in. We don't push them in. We don't pull them in. There is no rope. We are not going to pull on the rope. We're not going to push on the rope. We're going to present to you what we're doing. And if you're interested, you'll join us. And the funny thing is that I was waiting for him to pull me in, and he wouldn't do it. And it wasn't until over 2 years. So July of 2019, I met him. In August of 21, it hit me. For one, it hit me my aha moment in the company. Here I'd been with the company for 2 years, and I did not know. We had hired a lot of people, and I still didn't know why I was here. And it was rather amusing. And T, you know me quite well. Um, I will tell you what I don't know, and I'll tell you what I do know. Okay, and I'm proud of both sides of that. I have no problem of asking questions of what I don't know. But if I know something, and not being cocky about it, but I've lived it. So we're here in the office, and I was office is in Golden, Colorado, and two of our team members, one has a PhD, and the other doesn't have a PhD, but he's in the creative side, and they're debating back and forth of who's going to use our app, how is it going to be used, will it be used, how are we going to continue using it, and this and that, and they're kind of bickering back and forth, if you will. And I just sat there, and I'm like, time, you're both wrong. And they looked at me, and I'm like, oh God, what did I just do? And JB, our COO, is sitting next to me, and he kind of like, I just got the body feel from him, the body vibe of, it's your time. Like, let's go. Let's hear what you have to say. Because you've just been sitting back. And I had said, you're wondering if people are going to use this? You're wondering if people have been waiting for this? I'm sitting here telling you that all the different weight loss apps out there, the calorie counting apps, the companies, millions and millions of people have been asking for something, for help. Yes, there are the diet pills. Yes, there are the diet shots. There are the fast ways of trying to do it that are wrong and so forth. But the bottom line is you have to track your nutrition. You have to know what's going in your body. So I did my 20-minute monologue and sat back down, and JB, our COO, puts his hand on my shoulder and he says, "Welcome to the company. Where you been?" And I just kind of sat there and I'm like, holy crap. So I left and went on a 3-day vacation with my best friend. And he knows me. We've been together, friends since we were 15 years old. He knows me better than I know myself. And I handed him my phone and I said, "Don't hit send, but this is the email that I've put together to my clients. The greatest email I've ever written. It's my essentially my goodbye letter." And he reads it and he says, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, you got to be kidding me." Now, you have to keep in mind, all of my clients are investors. Every one of my clients came in on this thing because, and it was easy. It wasn't because it was the greatest investment or anything like that. They've lived with me for 25 years. So they've been hearing my struggles of me asking you, "What are you eating? Mike, I'm not losing the weight," or "Mike, I don't have energy. What are you eating?" I'm like, "Where's the journal? How are you keeping track?" "Oh, that's such a pain." So, which I'll get to is how we do it. I explained it to them and they said, "I want in. I want to invest." So my plan was that I was going to take half of them, continue to train half, and let the other half go to another trainer. 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of thing, don't rock the boat. And because I'm the only person in the company that is leaving my practice. Everyone else had a job. So they just went from a job to another job and they can go get another job. If this doesn't work, what the hell am I going to do? So I show him this idea and he's like, "It's a horrible idea." He says, "First off, you're going to take half with. Which half are you taking?" They all know each other. They're all friends and they're all investors. So you're going to tell half of them you're worthy. The other half, take a hike. So by the end of the weekend, I came up with the Dear John letter, if you will, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And to answer your initial question is, how do you make that leap? And I looked at it and said, if I truly believe in this, I have to go. And that's what I told my clients in the letter. And I said, "I can't do this in person. I'll never make it through it. But it's a 6-week celebration tour that we are going to celebrate the next 6 weeks together." Not one workout was completed in those 6 weeks. Nobody was, I mean, it was a joke. It was more about, reminiscing and what we've done and the workouts that we used to do and the industry, how it's changed and so forth. And September 30th was my last training session. Yeah,
Woo!
crazy.
Do you
So,
miss it? Do you miss it at all?
great question. And I get asked that a lot. No, I miss the people.
The simple
Okay,
answer.
simple
Right.
answer. No, I miss the people a lot because that's my family. Um, but I did not realize that I was just going through life. As Dr. T will tell you, um, I was very fortunate that I built the platform that I needed to do, and so I had it down so much that Dr. Terry or any medical professional, that's where I would get my clients from or referrals. They would send me a new person. I just plugged them in. It was just plug and play. And I'd get them. We do our initial consultation and they're starting to train. They write the check and eyes closed, no homework, no stress.
Come on, you
And
gave me
freezing
an
ideas.
arm blaster. I mean, come on. Yeah, there was homework.
Yeah, not much. And it was a very simple existence, a very simple life that I know a lot of people would say, "You left that." And I did. And the reality is, now that I'm doing what I'm doing, my brain was not being challenged. And I had no idea what I have learned in, and mm, trying to keep this.
And I think that's big for anybody. And Spence, you can get a word in. Yeah, I think that's good for anybody to challenge your brain. I think when we get complacent in life,
Yes.
I don't care how if you're making money or not. I mean, one of my
Yep.
favorite human beings. He may be very controversial right now, but one of my favorite human beings on the planet is Elon Musk, and that
Yes.
guy does not get complacent. He has he hears of a problem and he immediately drives into a solution and he puts all in all his money. He'll go broke. He'll do anything until he comes up with a
Yep.
solution. And I just think that's fabulous. Spence, you,
Do you miss the socializing that comes with it? Because you
Yes.
seem more corporate now and academic, and
It's
do you
funny you
miss?
say that. So, yes, I absolutely miss that. And as the um, somebody was asking recently at headquarters here, what is your role? What do you do? I figured out what everyone else does. What does the health officer do? And I said it's kind of funny. I'm probably not the best person to answer that, but my team members are. And what they would answer is, um, so, and to back up real quick, so what Kevin is the CEO founder. Okay, and this will explain it. Kevin is the CEO founder. When we bring on new team members, he checks from here up. He checks the brain and makes sure they can do what they say they can do. I check from here down as the heart. Are they the right person for the position? And one of the things I told Kevin is if I am going to leave my family of my clients, I have to replace that family. And so we are currently at 18 family members. We are all interconnected. And so when I'm here at headquarters, it is every meal is a family. We eat lunch together, we team dinners. So I do have that socialization that I still love to do. And the company will continue to grow, and we will do that with as large as the company gets. So that is what my role is. I get to be the face of the spokesperson and meet with everybody and anybody.
so what I'm
Does
getting from
everybody
this,
work? Mhm. Go ahead.
what I'm
Go
getting
ahead.
from this is I got to start eating dinner with my family because one's in one room on
Yeah,
the TV, I'm on my computer, so I got to start eating with my family. That's what I'm getting
yeah,
from this. That you know,
absolutely.
oh,
Yep,
dang it.
that's what they said too.
Exactly.
Is
Yeah.
everybody health oriented in the company, other than
No,
the
no. You know what's really
brainchild?
Spence? It's crazy. This group of people, I get extremely emotional. Just even this morning, they showed me the latest iteration of what the end using app is going to look like, and I have to hold the tears back because these are a group of people that are a bunch of nerds that have spent their whole life building stuff, and they're told to build something. Hey, you're the expert, build this, you build this, you build this, and then it comes together. Most of them have never used any weight loss apps. They've never used a calorie counting app. And it's not that they don't need it or do need it, it's just not been their world. They sit at a computer, they build, they know they need to be active, so they try to go for a walk. They get in, a lot of them are into cycling, some hiking. Common thread is we all have dogs. Um, but it is not their world. And so one of the new team members who I interviewed, she's the first person to ask me in all the 20 plus interviews we've had. She said, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Sure." And she says, "How is it that the first employee hired is a fitness trainer in a technology company?" And I said, "That's really funny. I never thought of it like that." And I asked Kevin, why? Why did you choose to do that? And he said, "I knew what I was building was right, but I needed somebody that knows what the industry has been waiting for to show me how to get it out there. I'll build it. Don't tell me how to build it. I know how to build it. Just tell me who's going to use it and why." So there are a handful of us that are from the industry. I'm the only one from the fitness side. We have three RDs on the team. that are absolutely amazing. Had I had any one of these three in my own personal practice, my business would have been 3 times the size it was, because they're amazing. Um, your One of your last episodes that I watched was with Dr. Jeffrey Cantor, the surgeon,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and he
Oh,
was talking about
love
how
it.
nutrition
Nutrition.
um, is very big before you go into battle. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, if he finds out what we're doing and how easy it will be um, for his patients, that's part of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So, no, it is interesting. I tell them every week, you have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea what the world is about to witness. And you're all going to sit there up on stage when we launch this thing and go, wait, really? You guys really needed this? They're clueless, totally clueless. And it's probably the best because they're not a bunch of fitness people.
And you know what? Another thing I'm picking up on this, I hope the listeners are, is we're not the sharpest tools in everything. You know, some people think that we're
Yep.
all good at everything, and
Yep.
I think one of the themes in our podcast, I mean, especially since I think Spence, well, day one maybe is, yeah, when you walk into like a train room, stay in your lane and work as a team, and you get the best people. And a lot of chiropractors make the mistake of walking into a team thinking they can do everything, and
Hmm.
they don't let the MD do their work. They don't let the personal train the athlete certified athlete trainer do their thing, or the physical therapist do their thing, and they don't know how to work as a team. And I think in business, it's the same thing we can learn in sports medicine. I think it's the same thing we can learn in business. Don't you agree, Spence?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that, Mike also has an opportunity to tap into the somewhat non-healthy or unhealthy or relatively unhealthy individual that's part of his corporate structure, and now expand to those people he's not typically familiar with and see how he could attract them to their world, because it's an untapped market for the most part,
Yes.
or it's been tapped and failed and failed and failed, so
Yep.
now he's got,
Yep.
you know
It
he's
it,
got
it is truly amazing being in the office and being around all these amazingly brilliant human beings. And when I bring up something in the world of fitness that they've never seen before, as big as TRX is, okay, suspension training, which I'm a huge fan of suspension training, most of them have never heard of it. Mobility sticks, never heard of it. I've introduced, so we twice a week we do what's called movement with Mike. I'm Mike, and for 30 minutes, I take them through mobility movement. We do not talk about business. We do not talk about building the platform. I literally get them up off their desks and I get them moving and opening up, and they love it.
oh,
Um,
no kidding, that's
it's
great.
unbelievable. They Most of them have never used a wearable. Most have no idea what a wearable is. I mean, and we're talking. It's I can't even begin to tell you how smart these people are. And this goes back to, I remember, Terry, you guys were talking on one of your early podcasts of, and I think Terry, it was you, that you were in a spot where you could do what an ATC does. But why would you do that? Let the ATC do what he does. You do what you do, and what you end up getting are these great referral businesses. So when this company started, I told Kevin, I said, I'm going to be in every single meeting,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I did in my own company. I was
Mm-hmm.
in every meeting because I ran the damn
Mm-hmm.
meeting, and
Yep.
sometimes I myself. But he said, "That's cute. That's really cute, Mike." And I said, "No, I'm going to be in every meeting, and I need to be there. I need to be a part of this company." And he said, "Oh, that's cute." So we finished
That's
one
cute.
meeting. Yeah, we finished one meeting, and I called him and I said, "I don't know what anything you guys talked about other than hi." And he said, "Stop coming to the meeting." I said, "But I need to know." And he said, "No, you don't need to know. Let the experts do what they do." He says, "Go to the meeting." And so we have a rule in this company: go to a meeting 3 times. If at the end of the third time you don't know what's going on, you're in the wrong meeting. You don't need to be there. You shouldn't have to Google what they're talking about. And and it is amazing when you do that. And so what ends up happening is they recap. They come in and say, "Okay, this is what we've done. This is what we've done." Like, well, now that makes sense. Why didn't you guys talk about that in the meeting? Like, we did. Well, it wasn't in English. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
So,
there's a flip side to that. I don't know,
mhm.
Terry, were you going to say something in particular? Because I want to address, to Mike's point, though. You know, one of our earlier podcasts was with Dr. Mary Collings, a chiropractor that is the chiropractor for the Dallas Mavericks basketball team and a bunch of other things that she does. But the owner is Mark Cuban.
Yep.
And Mark has a what? He has an esports team. So
Hmm.
when he asked her to participate in their, spinal manipulation, their physical health, she went in there to observe what they do, not understanding, but then identifying these people are mentally fatigued, they're stressed to all hell, they're young, they're retiring at 19 years old because of it. And aside from their physical health, she said to Mark, you know what? If we're going to treat them like professional athletes, or at least render care, then we got to do the nutrition right for them. We got to do that. So she cast a big net over it. So that's something that you could bring them into your world and help
Yep.
them understand.
Yep. It is. It is fascinating. And I knew that nutrition was 80% of the results that people are after when they hire me. They hire me. It's interesting when you look at it. Why do you hire a trainer versus a nutritionist? You would think that if you want to lose weight, you go to a nutritionist. If you want to get in shape or get stronger, you go to a trainer. But most nutritionists are only sought after because the doctor or a medical professional said, you need to get healthy. So go hire this nutritionist, go learn about nutrition, whatever. But when someone says they hire a trainer because they want to get in shape, whatever that means, well, they automatically assume that we know everything about nutrition. And as I talked in the last podcast, is there are many trainers out there that cross the line um, instead of referring out. So I knew that nutrition was the missing link for the success of somebody trying to get into shape. But there was no way to really be able to track what it is you're putting into your body. And now what we figured out is, so we started out as we are going to make calorie tracking the simplest, non-friction, least amount of friction um, platform out there. Period. That's what we were after. Lo and behold, in the world of technology, you start going down one avenue and you start realizing, oh my gosh, we could do a heck of a lot more. So we can what's going to happen now is basically the way the thing works is you're going to take your cell phone and you're going to scan it over your plate of food and put your phone down. And in that 4 to 5 seconds, we will know the portion, we will know all of the calories and all of the micro and macronutrients. But if your goal is weight loss, we can actually nudge you before that phone hits the table. The phone will vibrate and we can nudge you and saying, hey, based on the calories you have currently in your body, you may not want to eat all that food. That's before you eat it, not after. Um, but the biggest thing is that we started realizing is that we will literally knock out every single diet platform out there. It will be gone. And people are saying that's a huge statement. I'm like, it is a big statement because we're going to finally find out for you personalized what nutrient you are lacking. So imagine this, you get blood work done on day one, you scan for 60 days, you get blood work. The blood work is going to confirm or deny what the hell you're eating. So instead of somebody saying, I'm vegan, I'm paleo, I'm keto, I'm sugar buster, I'm this, I'm that, you're going to say, hey, you can be vegan. However, for you, you're not getting enough of this nutrient. Either supplement or start eating more of that. It's that simple. So you can still choose to be vegan, but don't take the assumption being vegan is the ultimate healthiest way. We are not a nutrition company. We are a data company that we are giving you all the information about your nutrition. If you say that you want to argue with me that paleo is the best way, so you're telling me you're getting every nutrient possible that you need in a paleo diet. I'm going to tell you, we'll find out. You may be right. You may not be right. Intermittent fasting. So the 8 hour window. So you're telling me you're going to get all of your nutrients in 8 hours, 12 hours, whatever it is. If you can do it, great. We're going to be able to find out if you can actually do it or not.
Mike, let me ask you the basics. It'd be fascinating. This is all fascinating, but
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know if you can even explain what I'm going to ask you, but waving your phone in maybe a semicircular manner to
Yep.
scan 3 dimensions, how is that going to tell you what food that is? Or are you plugging that in? How are you really?
Yeah,
What?
it's pretty cool. So we get that question a lot, and two answers on that. One is why, uh, how is it that we're building this thing, and in the way we're building it? And so, Spencer, do you have children?
I do.
Okay, so I know T does, and so when the kids were when they were babies, and they pick up my box of ear pods here, they pick it up. They don't pick it up one way and put it down. They pick it up and they look at it, and they do that because that's how the brain works, is so that the next time they pick it up, if they pick it up this way, they know exactly what it is. So they're doing brain mapping, okay? And that's the reason that every company out there that has attempted to do this with a single picture won't work. You have to get a three dimension, you have to get the whole entire thing. In our platform, the way we built it is we can build a 3D model within that 5 seconds. It is built and it'll tell us the portion and everything. The question always becomes is how do we know what's in there? So to make it real simple, is you're going to have there's essentially two libraries of food. So up in the cloud, way a mile above your head, is the massive library with every food out there: Mongolian, Italian, sushi, um, Jewish food, whatever it is. Okay, but if you yourself don't eat Mongolian, why do you care that we have Mongolian in our library? You
Mm-hmm.
yourself eat around 30 to 70 foods. That's just
Mm-hmm.
the average people that, and you'll have your outliers. You'll have a hot dog once in a blue moon or whatever, but that's not your regular eating. So right above your head in a cloud is called your personalizer. That is where your food goes. Well, if you give us 30 days, we will get to know you. So you scan over and we will recognize a good portion of things. And we're not going to guess though. We're not going to piss you off and say that looks like a donut. It's like, how does it look like a donut? It's an apple. So we're going to put a question mark there. And later in the day, not right there because we're not going to disrupt your meal, you're going to tap on it and we're going to say, Dr. Spence, what is that? And you're going to write it in. We may ask a second time. We will not ask a third time because we now know what you're eating. So in 30 days, you will roughly get through all 30 to 70 foods. They will sit in your personalizer. The more you use us, the better we get, the more accurate we get. It's no different than Alexa in your house.
So,
The
so
more you talk to her,
wait, I'm
she
gonna.
gets better.
So I got a question. What about preparation? Because preparation can change the food. You could have a steak,
Sure,
and you could prepare it so many different ways, and it could either be really good for you or it could be really bad for you.
What
absolutely.
about a
So,
salad? What
Salad,
about a
yeah,
okay, so
salad?
or
yeah,
or
let's go
a
steak. Let's go
pasta,
steak.
or anything like that.
Yeah. So let's go steak. So for instance, if I'm allergic to dairy, and in my profile I will put on there no dairy, and I'm also gluten free. I'm allergic. So when it sees a steak, it automatically knows that I have no butter on that. So if I'm at a steakhouse, it knows that I already asked for no butter. Now it may ask me later on, did you put, we may put a message in there. We noticed that you're at a steakhouse. They typically use butter. Did you ask for no butter? Da, 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 da. For instance, Mastro's is a beautiful steakhouse in our area. Most people do not know that they put butter on their steak. And most of my clients, and I tell them, get it without butter. They're like, wait, they do use butter? And I said, imagine the calories have gone up that much more. And they say it tastes the same. And I said, exactly. So we will get to know you as far as how you prepare and how you cook.
What about like
Yeah.
if you buy a food from Ralph's and then you go to Whole Foods? You'll so
Yep.
at Ralph's is a grocery chain out here. Kroger's,
Yeah.
do you know Kroger's?
Yep.
So you're gonna have um, different quality of food. So you'll get to know that
Correct.
too, as far as micronutrients and macronutrients by where you shop as well as who prepares for you. Got it.
We will know where you are in geolocation, and Kroger is in. We are talking with Kroger right now. They have seen our platform, and if they have every food that they sell in every one of their stores on our platform, we know exactly. So we know where you bought it, we know how it's prepared. And the idea is that eventually every restaurant will be on our platform as well.
If you
Wait,
if you
hold
guys
it.
are wondering how this works, it's called neural network AI learning. It's the same thing
You
Tesla
have
does.
got to be kidding me, Lance.
What?
That is exactly. Oh, I got chills.
What?
How do you know that?
Because he's
It's
smart.
because
Just looked it up.
It's what-
Google, baby,
It's
Google.
exactly,
That's
no, it's
smart.
exactly that's what Tesla uses. Tesla uses that so they know exactly how their roads use. That's how literally every data company is looking into neural network working. That's how Elon's brain chip is. That's Google does that if you want it for firewalls for literally anything. And you can use it.
You nailed it.
My one of my best friends here, Brian. I mean, that's one of their final projects in a few years. Is everyone's using neural network mapping is because it learns the more data input you use. So
Oh my God.
a lot of people think Tesla is a electric car company. It is not. It is a data company.
I have chills right now, Lance.
It is a data company because every time you drive that car on the road, it gets to know the road more and it gets to know how to use it better. So, and then they use that data and they sell that data, and that's how they get so much money.
And now, so now Lance understands this.
I was
The
also in
data that
computer
they-
science, so.
Okay, so the data that they sell is not tied to one person particularly. So they are not selling
They're not selling
anybody's personal data.
No.
What they are selling though is where is that car going? Where is that car? Is that car going to the movie theater? Is that car going to the shopping mall? Is that car? That information is very valuable. So Kevin Grundy, our CEO founder, is a massive fan of Elon Musk. And one of the questions we get all the time is LiDAR. Will you guys use LiDAR? And the answer is no. And if you want to know why, watch a video, Google Elon Musk and LiDAR, and Elon will tell you why LiDAR will never work
Or I can
in
tell
his
you.
world and it doesn't work in ours. And that is exactly.
Well, LiDAR
Wow.
also doesn't make any sense for food because LiDAR is just going to tell you the distance. It's not going to tell you anything about, and especially with cameras nowadays getting up to 4K on cellular devices, which is insane. And a lot of people don't know this, but when you take a picture with an iPhone or any camera these days and you press it and it takes a while, it's because it's not taking one picture, it's taking 10 pictures. It's taking a picture normally, it's taking a picture overexposed, underexposed, over gamma, under gamma, and all this other stuff. And then it compiles it with AI learning. And
Lance,
so
when do you graduate?
I'm a film production major, but in 2 years.
I don't think you're going to be. You and I are going to talk.
And
Give him a job there, Mike. I think he's pretty damn smart.
So the reason why LiDAR doesn't work so much for the Tesla cars, and you'll see if you see I see them all the time here in Phoenix, but you'll see LiDAR cars and they have spinning dishes on the top. And for people who don't know what LiDAR is, it's like radar but with lasers, and it shoots off a dot, and when it returns, you get the distance based on the speed of light equation. And so it doesn't make sense for food because then you just be telling your camera how far away the food is. And for a car, you won't be able to tell if the light is red, if the stoplight is red, if the cars in front of you's lights are red. So with these high intensity cameras, and Tesla does use some LiDAR sensors, but not as much. But with cameras nowadays, and especially for his food, you can also iPhone's working in LiDAR cameras, but they're also trying to work in heat sensitive cameras too. So you would be able to tell the heat of the food, you'd be able to tell how long it was cooked for, you'd be able to tell how much infrared energy is coming off of it, and all that fun stuff. So there you go, Mike.
I am losing my mind right now. I love that, Lance. This is there's your next guest.
I think we just had him. Spencer and I will just sit in the corner.
Yep. But see, this is what's so amazing is, again, this goes back to the nerds that get this stuff, and I use that in a very positive way because to them, as Lance just described, he's like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. To the rest of us, we're like, what? And as he not only understands it, but he can explain it. And so when we get investors, and that's really what I do now, is I'm I'm meeting with all the luminaries. It's a luminary tour, and that's our fundraising that we're doing. We're specifically going after individuals to fund this company. We are not going after institutional money. We do not want anyone telling us when it's time to sell, who we're selling to, or anything. So we are in control of our own destiny, and they're all mission aligned human beings that want to save the planet. So when I go in and I start explaining what it is we're doing, some of them are kind of turning their head, huh? And I just say simply, in 2004, put yourself back there and you're looking at your phone. Could you imagine using your phone to get from here to New York within 10 feet? And the answer would have been no. And a year later, Google Maps comes out and they did it. So if you think that this is impossible, did you also think Google Maps would have been impossible? And then they said no. And I said, so it's coming. It is absolutely coming, and it's going to be us.
Oh,
So
that's so good.
crazy.
You know, Mike, I hate to end this, but I have to go do archaic work with my hands. Where I have to actually adjust people. I'm in this tech conversation. I'm like, I'm so archaic. Yeah, but wow. And I hope you and my son can have good conversations down in the future, because
If you need a sales
absolutely.
rep, I have no job this summer.
he needs work, but his brain has always been off the charts. And
Yeah.
same with Spencer's sons. We're very blessed to have very good and very intelligent minded kids. So
Wives.
and so yeah, wives. I did marry good. There's no question.
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And
yeah. You married up.
so thank you for your time. And so I got a question.
Yeah.
Because I do have to get going. Wrap this up
Yeah.
really quick. When you look for when this platform is going to be out there.
So we are our target date is July 19th. We'll be in these stores, in the app stores, but we are safely saying within Q3 of this year that it'll be a soft launch. It'll be to friends and family. It'll be in the stores. It'll be available to anybody, but we're not going to go crazy on launching and so forth, because we want to work out the bugs. We know it's not going to be perfect. So January of 23, our marketing department wants to take over Times Square and every billboard and launch us. And that is the plan.
Okay. Wow. I got chills.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
brother. Best of luck for you.
Thank you both.
I think you made the right call and going up. I think you're going to help way more people. And so thank you very much for your time. And that was you were the right person to bring back for our second shot.
Thank you.
I just
Honored.
we're honored too. That's pretty damn cool. And I'm gonna go help some people, but keep us in the loop and keep us up to date on what's going on.
Will do.
All right, brother.
Yeah. And I'll definitely be the first 3-timer. I'll tell you that much.
I love it. I love the goal setting. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
All right, for anybody out there, follow your dreams. Don't give up. Surround yourself with good people and make it happen.
Yep. Fear is a 4-letter word.
There you go.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Crackenbacks podcast. We hope you enjoyed, and make sure you follow our Instagram at Crackenbacks Podcast. Catch new episodes every Monday. See you next time.